One of my most anticipated tabletop games of 2015 has to be XCOM the board game. And why wouldn't it be? It's based on one of my favorite video game franchises, a series that was revived in 2012 by Firaxis Games and 2K. Now you might anticipate that a board game based on a strategy video game would look a little bit something like a dungeon crawler where you hunt and kill aliens. But the XCOM board game designer Eric M. Lang and publisher Fantasy Flight took a different approach. XCOM the board game is a co-op adventure on a single board that utilizes an app to progress the alien invasion. With the app, alien movement is randomized, your team's organization is under strict time constraints, and co-op is key for survival. In this episode of Off the Grid, my friends Jeff Cannata and Christian Spicer of the DLC podcast join me to battle waves of attacking aliens, while staying under budget in XCOM, the board game.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Cannata.
I'm Christian Spicer.
And we are from the DLC podcast on 5x5. And we're here to play board games. Not good.
All right.
That's all right, you're safe.
So we can go.
I'm gonna push.
You're gonna push?
We're gonna go give it una mas.
Push your luck. Science guy.
No whammy.
Do it.
No whammy.
Come on!
Come on!
Come on, Spicer!
Do you want to keep pushing?
Let's go one more time.
Alright, we're pushing?
One more time.
Alright.
Hey, wait till you roll, bro.
Where are those rolling skills? It's like playing with Will Wheaton.
Good point.
Really?
Oh, no! Okay,
Well, at
I'm
least,
done.
done.
I'm done.
You're
Your
done.
scientists are like, I don't understand.
Our scientists
I
are
don't-
playing
I don't
Hearthstone. They're like,
understand.
"Ah!"
I've never seen anything like this. I don't.
You
Have
expect so much from
You
me.
rolled so poor that you basically went like this. Put it right.
I'm digging this. This is fun.
Two UFOs,
Oh, I'm not digging in anymore.
South America and in Africa. New technology available. So you draw 6 cards. Yeah. Draws cards from the deck until you have 6 cards in your hand. So draw 6 cards, and they're in your hand. We don't do anything with them yet.
Don't put it in your mouth.
10 credits for this round.
That's less.
2,
That's not good.
More money though.
8,
I got
10.
very
Crisis.
Come on, Crisis.
Okay, we got elite soldiers. Do not roll 1 additional XCOM, so we have no elite soldiers. I think we should do that.
That's
one.
fine.
And we're gonna do this. Choose a mission. New mission.
New vision.
Wait,
Choose
did we
2.
replace that mission?
Yeah, because I guess we. Maybe that's why. Hold on. Maybe that's why we didn't
Or
get.
is this?
No. That's
But it says
the
not to put this guy back in the pool.
Right, but I'm thinking maybe that's
Is
why.
this the mission?
Those are the missions. I'm thinking that's maybe why we have less money this round. Maybe we got penalized for it.
I don't know why this
Choose
guy's
a new
doing
mission.
it.
Why? Why? I think we keep on the same mission until we finished it. No.
When the app instructs the squad leader to choose a mission, he or she draws 2 mission cards from the mission deck, assigns one of them to the mission space, then discards the other mission. If there's already an active mission, when this action occurs, the squad leader can choose to keep the previously chosen mission or replace it with a new one.
Fair enough. I'm ready.
Did that sniper then stay on that new mission?
No, I think if you refresh, it's like, do we still keep banging away on this, or do we?
Well, here's that
No, or not.
finish the sentence thing. If the previously chosen mission is replaced, discard it and return all soldiers assigned to it to their reserve.
So it's like you can still keep banging. We got some progress here, or this one seems easier and better, and whatever.
All right. So what do you think? You
Well, I'm gonna look as soon as you let the time go.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
I'm playing by the rules.
Whatevs. Go. Push. 1.
Ooh, one's not.
Oh, but no, you
Two.
died. You died.
Oh shit!
Oh, your satellites
wait,
explode.
wait. Exhaust this. Re-roll the alien die.
All right. Roll higher than a 2. There you go.
Oh,
All right.
okay. So
Save
we're gonna
the
keep-
satellites.
So For each success you get to destroy one, for each success he or she destroys one UFO in orbit. So I'm going to do this one.
Okay. Destroy it.
Because that way we have to roll for each interceptor. And there's one in each zone with an interceptor.
Smart.
So,
If only we had a stealth satellite researched.
do I want to push it again?
I
can't use it. What happens?
I mean, these will explode in a fiery death explosion.
I feel like we can try it. Just one
Yo,
more.
dude, it's your decision to make.
Oh!
Come on! Xav, you exploded your satellites.
Okay. Alright, so it took us a while to get through the rules. I really wish that, and we don't know if this is going to be final, but in the actual box it only came with this little beginner setup.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually have the rules in here.
Right.
The rules are in the app.
Yeah.
And the app has the information, but it's not necessarily very clear.
I don't know if the app has. To be honest, I think we figured out what made sense for us literally at the end of 3 hours. But I don't know if it has the information, or if we're just intelligent people and we're like, it has to be this way based on the other progression of the game.
I think that we didn't parse the information as well as we could have. I think some of it's on us.
On you.
On us, and some of it's on the game. I think the app take advantage of being an app, right? There's good parts in the sense that there's an index where you can just click on the thing and
Sure.
it goes. It's like a Wikipedia page for the rules.
Yeah.
But if you're an app, be multimedia. Give me a piece of video. Give me an animation. Give me some pictures of the board of what you're talking about, right?
Place this guy here. Bing!
Right.
Or what?
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, higher production value, that adds cost to the app, but I feel like it would be so much clearer, especially if you've decided that the app is the only place I can learn the rules, and there isn't a rules. And the other thing that's crazy to me is if you have an app, why do you have to, like, you had your nose in that app the whole game. And I feel like that's fine for maybe a first play, but I don't, like, give the app some sound effects and stuff, or have a voice go, resolve this, because once you've played it a little bit, you kind of know what each step
Scientist
does.
resolve.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing that really changes when you use the app is the order in which things happen.
Right, but I mean, why do I have to keep reading? Why can't it express it in some way that where we can all be out of the app and
you
talking?
mean, like, why does it have to be the one person who has to yell out the commands?
Yeah, why is there just a timer running down? Why can't we have audio
Well,
cues?
it's interesting, right? It's like we want the best of both worlds, because some of the app stuff is cool and having it hyperlink and whatever, but I would say the app is a step up from a rule book this thick that you're carrying, which would be a big book. But because they've gone a half step to an app, we want them to go all the way and use
Make it
full
multimedia.
multimedia.
Yeah.
We should mention this is made by Fantasy Flight Games, and it's a license that is obviously very popular. The XCOM video game license. There's a lot of money behind it, so you'd assume that production costs might not be too big of an issue.
The components are beautiful. I mean, there's the high quality components.
Absolutely, but Fantasy Flight and we were talking about this before, Android Netrunner has an amazing video that you can just watch. It's like 20 minutes long, and it walks you through every element step by step. And I feel like if this app, and this app's not finalized, but when the app comes out, if this doesn't have videos in it, it's going to be pretty disappointing. Like, I want them to walk you through the basic setup rather than a bunch of pictures.
And also the game, a big part of the game is that timer ticking down pressure thing, which is cool, but when you use that as part of the tutorial, I feel like it throws off the learning process a little bit, because you feel tense and you're not really able to go through all the information as thoroughly as you might without the timer.
I think my biggest thing, and we're about to get into this at the end of the game, like you hit a fail state or whatever, but if you don't hit a fail state, it looks like the only way you win is when you go to a final mission that is determined by the app, maybe at random. We didn't get there, so I don't know, but I like knowing, like, oh, this is our second to last mission, we gotta save some guys, we gotta do this, and it's not my distrust for, like, video poker per se, but it's like,
it's
one game.
What determines the ending?
Well, you've hit on my big problem with co-ops in general, which I brought up on DLC at 5by5.tv/DLC. I brought that up on the show before about most co-ops, or a lot of co-ops in the sort of pandemic ilk, which I would put this in that category a little bit. It has a lot more going on than pandemic.
Yeah, a lot more going on, sure.
But a lot of co-ops feel like just staving off bad stuff. rather than shooting for good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just mitigating the crap that's being thrown at you, which is its own kind of fun, but I find it not as compelling as games where I'm able to strive to get the most money or get the most points or use cool strategies to get something cool rather than just prevent bad things.
That's not this license, though.
I guess that's
license
true.
is an invasion. I mean, that's
true.
Right.
what the original PC game is.
You're
what
right.
I feel like that works for this, but I just want to know how long I need to stave it off for.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm the type of guy as a video gamer too, where even if the game I love, I'll go to a game pack and see like how many more levels are there. I just want to know like when I'm gonna win.
What I was kind of hoping for was for something a little bit more like Robinson Crusoe. I don't know if you've played that.
I have.
But in Robinson Crusoe, there are scenarios that you're sort of striving for an end game. And in this, I feel like it's just survive until we tell you that it's over.
Right.
And I kind of wanted these invasion cards and the things that we're selecting to have a little bit more weight to it, to add more to the theme in terms of what's actually happening. I wanted it to actually give me a little bit more of the reward. I feel like there's the carrot and the stick, but like the carrot's been fired out of a cannon at this point. I don't know where it is.
Well,
It's
under
just
our pile
It's
of
under
UFOs.
the pile of UFOs. So I kind of wish it was a little bit more like that, where it was more scenario based, because every game is going to be alien invasion.
Yeah.
But after essentially after a lot of playthroughs, I feel like that scenario that we select doesn't really make much of a difference, because its ability only triggers when we fail.
And you're talking like the actual specific, because
Not the missions.
I don't know if it was clear
This
from other
thing,
stuff,
but yeah.
right? But like so much, I would say 70% of the game is largely the same every round.
Yeah.
What changes is your mission, and these two cards is kind of your only variable. And I agree that they're not. It's not that big of a variable.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
like, we got this one.
The invasion card, which is essentially a fancy word for scenario in this instance.
But there's a lot of stuff that I do like. I mean, I think we're complaining a lot, but I really like the rolling mechanic. It's that push your luck that's built into every roll is really fun.
Yeah.
I found it to be exciting even when I wasn't the person rolling. Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? The shared economy, the fact that we all have to work from the same pool of money is really interesting, because it forces cooperation in a give and take kind of way.
And I think if you really followed this app and you followed the time, like that one round we didn't have enough time to put anyone on the mission and we sort of just screwed ourselves over. I think if you're following this to the letter and really paying attention to the app, it can add some tension.
Right.
So I do like it in some instances, because so a lot of it might be because it took us a while to get the rules, and I feel like there's still some of it that's confusing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so I don't want to bang on it too much because of that problem, but when it was working right, I felt like it was really exciting. Like,
I agree.
When the app was running and we knew exactly where we were going and we were counting off the time and worrying about the economy, it was exciting to work together as that. But the resolution phase, where it's like, okay, now it's your turn, and now you roll a bunch of die, and I feel like...
Oh, see, I don't know, I thought that still was fun.
you like
I
that?
kind of agree with Jeff, where it's like, you get to the success, and it's like, oh no, as long as I don't roll a son of a bitch, and you roll the one. I think, if I'm recommending someone to learn this game, I think 4 people would be super helpful, because the way we're playing is you're dual rolling.
2 rolls,
And one of those rolls is the manual tablet guy. That's a lot of work.
So this game is for up to 1 to 4 players, and it says if you play 1 player, you have to do all 4 rolls. It's not like Pandemic where...
Turn off the timer. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, part of me thinks, and I never say this, but part of me thinks this entire board game would work better as a video game. Not as XCOM the video game, but because there's so much stuff you need to keep track of. Like, if I could just click and it would feed to me what I have to do next. I feel like the strategy is really strong, and staving off multiple, like, I have to worry about UFOs, but I also have to worry about enough guys, and I have to maintain my resources. Like, one person playing this as a interesting video game might work really well. Yeah, it might work really well.
I kind of liked the chaos though between like with the economy. I liked that stuff.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't come through in a video game. And I like that it is kind of crazy where it's like, no, you're only getting 3.
Yeah.
You only get to spend $3. Dude, you're screwed. We got to save for the base.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that dynamic, it's not competitive co-op at all. It's friendly, but there is animosity that's created between players obviously work to one common goal that I think makes the game interesting.
I feel like playing it again, knowing what we know now versus the mistakes we made, I feel we'd have way more fun with it.
Definitely.
And it was still already pretty fun. Like, I feel like we're nailing it for things that we were sort of making mistakes on because we weren't really clear.
Right. I agree with that.
But some of those deserve to be nailed on, though. Right?
And I do wish, honestly, and Jeff was right, I do wish, regardless of the app having all the information in here, the rule book needs to be a full rule book. I want examples. I want it. I mean, if you have so many complex systems and you're going to have 4 players, you should have a rule book for people to share that information, or at the very least have a video, like just someone explaining how these things work. So overall, the game I think is a lot of fun. Like you said, the components are fantastic. Fantasy Flight, I mean, they do really great work.
It's really clear. The art is really strong. Like, just the board layout is really complicated, but I love how there's a space for everything. Yeah. Nothing feels cramped. Nothing feels unclear. I think that's cool.
The board gives me the XCOM feel. The theme kind of comes out. Do you think that the theme comes out of the game?
Yeah.
Having played XCOM, the video game?
I think so. I mean, just like Christian was saying, I mean, it is XCOM. There's an alien invasion, and you are the last line of defense, and they're overwhelming you. It's interesting. The fascinating thing to me is that the XCOM strategy game is so much about a tabletop-esque turn-by-turn fight, and none of that is in the board game.
Yeah.
Like, they went a completely different way. And the fighting mechanic that they came up with, I think, is really strong. I think it's really fun to push your luck and have those dice rolls.
It is interesting that another Fantasy Flight game, Imperial Assault, actually sort of is the board game representation of what XCOM the video game is. And the XCOM the board game is so different from the video game.
But I think that's cool. I commend them for not just recreating the video game on a board game. They took the license and did something interesting, but maintained the feel of what that universe is all about.
So would you play it again?
I want to play it again. I'll tell you this, honestly, I'm less excited about it than I was before I played it. I really thought it was going to be...
What?
I'm just a little disappointed is a better way of saying it. I was very excited about there being an app and how it's integrated into a tabletop experience. And now having seen how it works, I feel like I like the randomization thing that a digital component can bring in, but I didn't feel like it made the game sitting at the table experience better.
I felt like with the app, the problem that I had with it was that they wanted to rely on it too much for so many things. If it was just the randomization and sort of feeding it the information from your game, that'd be great. But relying on the app as the rule book, I think was a huge mistake.
It feels like it's holding your hand through the whole process, which would be good, but it makes me feel like I don't have a handle on what's going on. It's like I'm constantly going, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next?
Because we went through the rule book and it gave us all the information, but then there were specific terms that we then had to go into the rules section and look up those terms, and I felt like that wasn't covered. So how about you, Christian? Would you play the game again?
I would play the game again. I think I definitely would want to be chief scientist again. I do feel like it is easiest isn't quite the right word, but it's a role I'm comfortable with, and maybe it is the easiest or simplest where the chief scientist works as kind of I'm an assist, right?
You're a facilitator.
And I'm giving you guys buffs that you can use or whatever, and I like that role. I think to some extent having, Jeff, who were you? You were the
squad leader.
Squad leader. It's weird because like you're one person but also kind of 2 roles with the mission and the base, but it's both with the guys. So I feel like some of those other roles are overly complex, if that makes sense. And I also think the board is built for 4 people. Because I was thinking before it's awkward, but you should have been sitting here. Like the art is all turned that way. So I mean, I had a good time playing it. I mean, people know I'm not the biggest tabletop guy, but the dice rolls and stuff themselves are fun. The moment to moment is fun. I think it's a little muddy to get to the moment to moment.
I really like it. I think it looks great. I think it plays really well. I feel like the biggest letdown for me, the biggest disappointment is the amount that the app is relied on for the game. I feel like if there was a rule book and that rule book had some very clear examples, or if the app had some videos on how things really worked, we would blaze through how we'd still make mistakes, but we'd understand and we'd have a lot more fun. And I feel like you wouldn't be as disappointed in it.
I agree. I feel like we would all have a very different opinion of this game if we had played it at a convention or something and there was a guy who taught it to us.
Yeah, and people are really excited about it because it debuted at Gen Con last year, and people played it there, and there was someone explaining to them and walking them through it. And when you know what's happening, I feel like this is a great game.
Yeah, it's
But-
really solid. Yeah.
But there's some moments where it's just a little disappointing.